We have an outbreak of pennies, and Two Sheds Gabby is on the scene to go through these pennies and see what's going on. It is going on 10:30, folks, p.m., and my wife's been in bed for a while, and I just got the trash out to the road. Oh man, they are talking tomorrow at late afternoon. Big storms lasting a few days. 10 inches of rain, massive flooding they're calling for. I live in Highview, so I get a lot of water and the yard is all soggy, but I don't usually get the flooding because I live in the higher part of the county. But lots of storming, and they say possibly big, long to ground tornadoes. I know they've said it before, they always have to give you the warning of the possibilities, but phew, it looks like it could get ugly. And I'm going to start on this box of pennies. I'm hoping to get to it some more tomorrow, but we've got a lot of prep, making sure the generator's working and just making sure we got the place pretty secured. But and hopefully nothing will happen at all, but you got to take some preparation. Anyway, I'm going to get into this penny outbreak we got right there and see if we can get started on a few rolls before I go to bed. All right, let's go. Near the end of the first row, I get my first keeper. It is a 12-sided Canadian copper penny. It is 1988. I like finding those 98% copper coins. In the second row, I get my second copper Canadian, another 12-sided. This one is 1993. Well, my son and his wife left today, contacted us several hours later and said that they had made it home. We had a good time hanging out with them. We played, when my brother came over after we watched a movie together. What was it called? Jackbox TV. It's a whole bunch of different games that you can play. You set your phone up to it, and it goes through the TV. It's a lot of fun, and we had a lot of laughs. Some of the games, there's a whole bunch of different games in the pack. I guess my daughter-in-law got a pack that has several games in it, if I understand that right. And there's a couple of them was a lot of fun. We enjoyed it. A few people have asked what I'm looking for in the 23. At the bottom, under the shoulder there, is the VDB from the initials of the designer. But in the 2023, there's a few that have a little extra V off to the right. And so that's one of the few errors that I look for, because I can see them so quickly. I don't have to stick them underneath a Tom Love or anything like that. So I'll take a quick glance. 82. I put those away to be weighed later. And guys, my Canva, it's just driving me crazy. It's still not working. I don't know what the deal is. Are any of you guys experiencing the same thing? Is your Canva not working? I have deleted it from my phone and reinstalled it, and it still won't work. I'm now in my 7th row, and here's my 3rd Canadian. This is an older one, 1968. It's 98% copper, but it's heavier than those 12-sided ones. No Wheaties or nothing yet. Look at that thing. I'm going to weigh it. It's zinc. I guess we'll assign this guy to the melting pot. It's really dirty. Yuck. Ugh. Well, ain't a whole lot happening just yet in this here box of pennies. There's a yucky one too, but we'll see if it'll make the machine. A wheat penny, 1951, Denver, wheatie number uno. Uno, you know. Oh, Uno. We used to play that a good bit, and then a friend of mine came across a game called King's Court, and it's kind of like Uno on steroids. And it's just hard to go back to Uno once you've played King's Court. So I've only got light over my table and a little light behind my head. So the rest of the room is not lit up well. But we made some changes. I had a big 50-inch TV on top of that piece of furniture that we didn't know what to do with. It's been sitting there since we moved in. And I finally just gave it to my son and daughter-in-law. And so we had Lily Langtree right there, and another piece of art, artist friend of mine did right there. But now we've moved Lily Langtree over here. And the other piece of art that he did for me is behind me over my desk. But I had my clock right there. And I just, a little while ago, while I was talking to you, I looked over to see what time it was. And she had moved my clock. She never tells me what she's up to. So now this piece of art that he did, I don't know how to explain what all he does. He does some pretty cool stuff and puts this together. This was my bookshop several years ago. Come on, camera, stand. And then she puts my clock right here. So while I'm going through the coins, I have to turn all the way around to see it. And that's kind of a drag. We may have to have words. But I think in just a few minutes, I'm going to quit and go to bed. This is the 11th row, and here's Wheatie number 2, 1944 Denver. Cool beans. I have found 5 Canadian so far, guys. 3 of them are copper, and 2 of them are the newer non-copper. And this is going to be my last roll tonight. I think I'm going to hit the hay, get up in the morning and have my coffee, and try to get back to this before I get into all the other preparation stuff I have to do. Good night. Good morning, folks. It is, I have to turn all the way around. It's 10:30. Wow. No, wait a minute. No, it's 9:30. I was going to say 10:30. Yeah, I've been up and had my coffee. And we got this big storm coming, and they're saying it could be 10 inches of rain over a few days. So 82. I missed my job, for heaven's sake. I called my insurance company to make sure that I was covered by sub pump failure in your basement or cellar flooding. And they're like, you're not covered by that. That's a special blah, blah, blah amendment. It's like, oh, for the love. So they got to call me back with a quote. It's like, how much is a quote for that one little thing? Insurance just drives me bonkers, folks. I tell you, I just wonder if I should live without it. I have, my house is paid for, so I don't by law have to have it. The question is, if I didn't spend the money on insurance, could I save up enough to cover any damage? That's a tough call. I don't know if I'm ready for that yet, although I'm tempted. I see stuff all the time on Facebook and other places, mostly about auto insurance. I guess it includes homeowners too, but they're like, you pay $300 a month, just call this number and you get it for full coverage for $36 a month. And I have a couple of them say go to this web. I have not been successful in finding any of that to be true. If any of you knows otherwise, I would love to hear from you. Is it all just a big lie, just trying to get you to switch for a $20 saving or something? Back in the day, I used to try to like sticking with one company, but they don't care for you. They'll raise rates every chance they get. So I don't have the loyalty I used to think I had 20 years ago. So I've been with a company for a long time, but I feel very little loyalty to them after they've raised rates and done things to me, and denied insurance. Well, that wasn't covered. It's like, if I have homeowners, just what all special things do I have to bring up that's not covered otherwise? Unreal. Looks like I'm in my 14th roll, and here is wheat penny number 3, 1957 Denver. Well, we got some pretty warm weather today, so before the storms and all hit, we've got some prep work stuff to do to get ready for the storm, but I'm going to try to spend an hour or two working again in my shed. I really, really hope in the next week or two to be finished going through everything out there and trying to give myself more room to pursue. Oh, there's a 2009. Some of my other hobbies. I want to get my rock tumbler going and make room for my oven for melting and making copper ingots and bars and stuff like that. The 15th roll now, and another Canadian copper. And this is another 12-sided. That's 3 of them already in this box. It's funny how I will get lots of Canadian for a while, and then I'll go through spells where you aren't getting very much. It'd be fascinating to know what causes that, why you get an influx and then you don't. But I'll probably never know. Well, here's the next row and another Canadian. I always like to point out these are 98% copper, whereas ours are 95% copper. And this one is 1981. I haven't mentioned for a while. From 1979 and back, quite a few years, they're 3.24 grams each. And then 1980 and 81, they kept the 98% copper composition, but they dropped the weight to 2.8 grams. But then in 82, all the way through 1996, they dropped it to 2.5 grams. So they kept the 98% copper way longer than we did, but they did drop the weight of them down to the same weight as our zinc pennies. But they're still copper, and that's the cool thing about them. And so when you find when you find the Canadian pennies, since they quit making theirs in 2012 anyway, you get way, way bigger percentage of copper ones. And that's kind of neat. Part of the fun part to me about the whole Canadian, because most of the time they are copper, or at least a lot of the time. After 20 rolls, I decided to stop with my penny box hunt for a little while and go out to my shed for a little bit. Oh, I've got a call coming. That was an inopportune time for my insurance to call. I've got one of these hooks on my door here and an eye here. So when it's windy, I don't have to worry about the door closing on me constantly. This is mostly equipment that I sell for a few companies. And I got like 5 of these shelves, and I'm going to try to condense it down to at least 4 and move one of these. I think this metal shelf I'll move over to my wife's shed. But I'm going through everything and repricing, removing some things, and just trying to condense it all because it gets spread out. Right at the end of the last roll of the first half, I've come across another Canadian. I came back in about 10-15 minutes ago. My contractor showed up, and he's doing some work, so I decided just to pack it up and come on back in. Look at this, folks. Do you know where I'm at? Yes, I'm at home. That's not what I meant. I'm in the 13th roll in the second half. I've gone a lot of rolls without finding... I found some copper, but nothing else. And this is a 1952 Denver. Finally, Weedy number 4. Whew, that was a long span. There's an 83 away. It's zinc. Sometimes you just don't know for sure. The very next roll, and here is my 7th Canadian copper penny. 1963, that one is. It's going on 2 p.m. now. I stopped again for lunch, and my wife got back, and we discussed what she did. But she was out. She's getting paint and different things to do some painting in the house. She's good at it, let me tell you. There's only 7 rolls left in the box, and here's wheat penny number 5. 1946, Philadelphia. You know, unless I get like an Indian head in the next 7 rolls, I think I'm going to go ahead and just pop open another box. And we'll just search another box and see what we find. Maybe I'll get close to a total of 6 pounds of copper for today's hunt. Oh, well, with just 1 roll to go in this box, here is Canadian copper penny number 8. More copper Canadian than we got wheat pennies this box. I don't usually do that. Oh, there's another Weedy right there. 57D. I think that's 6 of those. One row to go, and I think I'm just going to bust open another box. Well, that wasn't the best as far as the wheat pennies. I did get some decent Canadian copper. Let's see how close we get to the 3 pounds. I don't think it's too far off. A little bit. 2 pounds and right at 12 ounces. So, not terrible, but certainly not a really good box. Let's see if the next one is better. Folks, this is the second roll in the box, and I have a 1934 Wheatie. Now, that's the way I'd like for it to be. Hopefully, we'll find more like this. Very cool. I have all the silver, copper and Wheaties from the last box that I'll add together when we're finished here and see what we get total. So that first box was like 2 pounds, 11 ounces of copper. It is windy out there. Oh my goodness. I mean, it's really blowing. Storm's not even here yet. I hope this isn't a fragment of what is to come, but it could very well be. We're going to be hunkered down tonight. I probably ought to take a nap because I'm going to be up keeping a close eye on the storm. The end of this roll had a penny with some gunk on it, and I thought, I'll bet that's chewing gum or bubble gum. So I scraped a little layer of it off and smelled it, and it's sweet. Someone lost a piece of their bubble gum. Now I'm in the 4th row, and here's wheat penny number 2. If it kept that up, that'd be 25 wheat pennies, wouldn't it? 56 Denver, Wheatie number 2. Oh, yeah, I turned my coinflation on, and it's working again. Yay. Copper pennies are now at 2.90 cents each, so copper has fallen back just a little bit. Silver is down just a touch. It's 33.5. It had crossed over into the $34 an ounce and some change. Now it's back to about 33 and a half. Bitcoin is bouncing around between 82 and 85,000. I went and looked right after that last segment, and actually Bitcoin had surged up to 87,500. After 10 rolls, I'm still just at 2 wheat pennies, so my wife brought me a York peppermint patty to cheer me up. Now I can go down the Swiss Alps with ease. Here in the 12th row, I found wheat penny number 3, a 1953p. I do also have 2 2009 memorials as well. Well, I almost went the wrong way with that guy. Where'd he go? There he is. I dropped a penny this last round and it went right in my shoe. Really good shoe. Tonight we've got a really good shoe. Up until yesterday, right there in that spot was this old, I guess, TV stand on wheels, 30 or 40 years old, that had that stuff there on it that goes out to my shed, but I don't want to take it out there until I get my shed more organized. And that's where I had that 50-inch TV. But we didn't want that old stand, so I took it out to the end of my driveway, hoping somebody'd pick it up. And last night around 10:15-ish, I took my trash out, and that stand was still there, but this morning it was gone. We've done that several times. People will eventually go, maybe I can use that, and just pick it up. 15th row now, guys, and gals. And here is wheat penny number 4. 1958 Philly. That first one was in the 30s, got me all excited. The last few have been in the 50s. I am doing some printing off some mat stuff to make some mats. We'll get the laminator heated up in a little bit, and I want to get caught up, make sure I've got plenty, because every now and then they just start getting orders. I like to have them ready when the orders come in. And I usually put in a piece of cardboard inside, and then I'll stamp on the envelope, please do not bend, hoping, trying my best to do what I can to see that they get to you nicely. So I cut up cardboard sheets the same size as the mat to put in as inserts. So I'll probably do some of that in a little while. Part of me wants to get back out to the shed, but I don't know if I want to do that today or not. I am up to 3 2009s now. Right at the end of row 16, and here is wheat penny number 5. 51 Denver. I asked my West Virginia friend if he thought he was going to be able to make it down, and he sent me this. I haven't seen one of those in a while. Well, I'm now in the 18th row, and here is wheat penny number 6. I now have 4 2009 memorials. Oh, a 1944 Philadelphia. That's a little bit better. I also have a non-copper Canadian that I found. Oh, look at that. 1949 Denver. That's number 7. Well, that's mighty fine. I like that. How about another? We are friends to the bitter end, the bitter end. Remember that one? The Jungle Book of the old buzzards. I like that song. I try not to talk favorably about Disney very much, but I did like that, I'll have to admit. If it means Disney makes a buck off of me watching it, I won't watch it. But if somebody just has a copy of it or something like that, I'll watch it. I don't want to do anything that's going to make Disney a nickel. In fact, I think I need to trade in my bank's debit card because several years ago I got one. They didn't have any neat ones except for Darth Vader. And that was actually before the COVID. I was already getting a disliking for Disney, but I have since COVID learned to despise Disney. I am halfway through the box now. Here's Wheatie number 8. I think I'm in like the second roll in the second half. 1953D. There's a joke in the back of my head, but I don't remember exactly how it goes. And it has say about 8. Something about a guy went to the doctor or hospital or something, and they asked him what level of pain was. And he said about an 8, and and he got morphine, which apparently he really liked. And so he was running up and down the hall yelling, "Say 8, say 8." But somewhere in there was more of a punchline, but I just can't remember. Sorry about that. 82. Say 8. That's all I remember is say 8. Here is another wheat penny, 1958. Wheat penny number 9. Number 9. Number 9. And this is the 9th row in the second half. I am just, I'll go through some rolls and then I'll go visit my wife, or I'll go work on my Canva, and I'll go do this and do that. Today, it would definitely take me an hour and a half to watch 60 Minutes. No doubt. But that's all right. We're getting to it. This is the second box I'm going through today. I started last night. It just hasn't been the best Copper and Wheatie 2 boxes. So that happens. And you know, it's just a thing. Every year, more and more people, like myself, are taking copper out of circulation because we're keeping it for ourselves, because it's worth more than what we pay for it. So it only stands to reason. And so we're losing the copper on one side, and then they're pumping more, 1 billion more pennies in every year, which may end this year. And so that just makes it harder and harder and harder to find a good amount. And I just found wheat penny number 10. 57D. Most of these have all been in the 50s. A couple of them haven't been. But that is Wheatie number 10 this box, so that's cool. Maybe we'll find a few more yet. So I believe it's just stands to reason that as time goes by, where has the evening gone? We're going to start experiencing smaller percentages of copper, which probably means we'll be finding fewer wheat pennies, and unless you get lucky and, get into a dump, which that stuff happens. And it will continue to happen for years to come, I imagine. People pass away, leave their collection behind. Somebody don't want to mess with it, so they take it to the bank. Bank sends it in. Brinks takes it, re-rolls it, sends it back out. Then you or me buys it. Here lately it's been you, because I haven't gotten a dump. But maybe one day I will. I've gotten some other good stuff. No complaints. I have found good stuff. I certainly have. I am now in the 10th row, and here's wheat penny number 11. So the wheat's going pretty good in this box, I shall say. 1946p. Don't we just love that design? I don't know. It's so simple and so good. I just thoroughly enjoy it. I'm really hoping that the weather isn't going to be so bad. Obviously, we don't want it to be real bad, but I'm hoping that I'm going to get to go out tomorrow and do my banking, because I pick up, boxes of $50 and at least one box of pennies and nickels. But I think tomorrow I'm going to try to pick up a few extra boxes at a few extra. I'll be going to several places. It's pretty nice. Returning coins. And so a few of those places I'm going to say, you got an extra box of pennies and nickels for me? And oftentimes they will. And one of the banks I will ask if, they usually call me, but while I'm there, I'll ask them if they have a bag of dimes. But I suspect they won't because they haven't, unless they just get it that day filled up, because they usually call me when they have them. Well, golly, folks, there's only 4 rolls left in the second box. And here's wheat penny number 12. I've been getting some copper, and we're getting some wheat. 12 wheat pennies is not bad. Most of them have been in the 50s. Just not a lot of variety, I guess you'd say. Variety is the spice of life, ain't it? Not nearly as many Canadians. In fact, not one copper Canadian in this box. I got one non-copper Canadian. What a vast difference from the last box. Oh, haha, there's a Canadian right there. It's one of those centennial type things. 1967. Well, that's nice. Those are pretty nice to get. Got a little variety right there when I asked for it, didn't I? Well, this is the last row, so I thought we would just go through it and see if anything shows up. I don't know if I've got 3 pounds of copper. I've been getting some copper. And we got 12 wheat pennies, which is pretty good. Not bad. I can't complain. John Prine said, but everything is just about the same. Pretty good. Not bad. I can't complain. No, actually, everything is just about the same. I was reading in my Bible just last night the story of Jesus when they were in the boat and the wind was blowing and they were all just sure they were going to die. And he was asleep. And they wake him up and like, don't you know that we're perishing? And he says, peace be still, basically. I think something like that. And it just stopped. Can you imagine? 82. That had to be fearful. They're like, who are we in the presence of? They can just tell the weather to stop, and it stops. Just imagine you're home, and there's a massive tornado coming right at you. You just see the house in front of you disappear. And then the person you're with says, be still. And you just watch all the clouds go up, and the wind is gone. The sun comes out, in like 10 seconds. That's got to be kind of scary. Amazing, but scary. And we actually found a wheat penny at the last row. How cool. 13. That ain't bad. 53. Almost all of them was in the 50s. We got one in the 30s. The first one is in the 30s. But the reason for these miracles was to convince people. If I've got a message from you, I'm saying, God said that you need to do this. And they say, well, that's different than what I've learned. How am I supposed to believe you? And I'll say because that fellow right there next to you with leprosy, I'm going to heal it. That's how you know that it's from God. That was the point of the miracles. They came with power, the Bible says, proving that they had the message of God. And that's what it was all about. And we're done. I'm going to weigh these 82s and see how much copper we got. I feel like surely out of the 2 boxes, we got over 5 pounds. Let's see. Well, let's see what we got. I don't think it's 3. Is that almost exactly what we got from the first box? 2 pounds and a little over 11 ounces, almost 12 ounces. Well, that is over 5 pounds for the 2 boxes. And we've got like 18, something like that, wheat pennies. All right, let me put these in my copper box. Another box or 2 of of pennies, and we ought to be at our 15 pounds. Well, it was 19 wheat pennies, and then here's my Canadian pennies, handful of 2009s and 1 S penny this time. That's all I saw. I may have missed 1 or 2. Folks, that's it. 2 boxes we went through. We did get over 5 pounds of copper, and we're going to stop there. Hopefully tomorrow I'll get out, and I'll be able to go through some halves. Last week I got 40% silver. Boy, I'd love to do that again. That'd be great. Well, hopefully we'll see you with another video tomorrow.